And raise your hand if a man has ever tried to trap you with a baby. Oh my God.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And if this is your first time here, well, you're most welcome. I'm really glad you're here tuned in today because we have a very important topic to unpack. Now, before we dive in, go ahead and hit that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It actually helps me a lot and keeps these kinds of conversations going. So today we're going to watch a few videos I've stitched together for you all, and I'll give my thoughts afterwards. So watch until the end. I'll see you on the other side.
And raise your hand if a man has ever tried to trap you with a baby. Oh my God. Unfortunately, you can't even really tell a man you don't want kids nowadays because he takes it as a challenge. A fucking challenge. A lot of them want to get you prego just to be able to say they did. There's some sick people out here. And I realized that not wanting kids means your chances of finding somebody else who don't want kids, especially a cishet man who don't want kids, who also has his head on straight, who isn't a liar, a cheater, a piece of trash, who's emotionally intelligent, the odds of finding that on top of him not wanting kids, I know is very, very slim to none, but shit, I'll take my chances. And if you want kids, that's fine. Just go have them with some other woman, not me.
Especially when we see the trend of like every 3 to 6 months, another young, black, multi-talented, gorgeous woman engaging in baby mother culture. And then y'all look at the baby dad like, oh, he was just trying to sit her down. He was trying to humble her. I mean, even if that's true, she was engaging in it too. Like it takes two. Unless there's an assault, it takes two.
So many times women are so successful and they're on their straight path of success, but they allow a man to come around and completely warp, flip, and change their life. A lot of the times we look at these very successful women who get pregnant by these men and we're so quick to say, oh, he trapped her. He did this to her. He did this to her. But I'm just going to be real and clock some tea. A man cannot do anything you do not allow him to do to you. If he trapped her, there is no way that he trapped her without her allowing that. If he made her a baby mom, there is no way that he did that without her allowing that. I know I always say be wary of men and men can ruin your life, but at the end of the day, taking all accountability, a man cannot ruin your life if you do not give him the access to, and if you do not allow him to.
Do not have children with narcissists. They will use the child to continue to suck you dry. And this is a fact. If you already have children with them, that it is what it is. But if you are in a position where you currently do not have a child with a narcissistic man, take heed and listen to this. This is so true. You'll notice that narcissists, they use children to trap women, okay? They use children to keep women in their life. They have no intention of really being a father to these children. These children to them are used as pawns. And the people who are going to suffer because of this is obviously the child and the mother who is left to raise this child with a deadbeat dad who has no intention of being an actual father, who has every intention to cause you more pain and suffering in your life by the fact that he makes your life more difficult because of these kids. He doesn't step up. He doesn't help you parent. He barely helps you financially with these children. It's just a mess. He takes you to court to win custody over a child that he doesn't even want. And then when he finally gets custody, he doesn't do his due diligence. He passes those kids off to family members and to friends, and these children end up suffering. If you're in a position right now where you don't have children and you're with a narcissist, get out before you get trapped. Get out before you end up getting pregnant and being stuck with this person for life. Because when you have a child with somebody, more often than not, that person is in your life for good, right? That person will always be in your life because of this child. You guys now have an even stronger soul tie, soul connection because you've created life together. Do yourself a favor and get out as fast as you can if you are still child-free and you're with a narcissist.
Narcissists will have a baby with you just so they can trap you. For them, this is a guarantee that you will always be there no matter what. That part is once they get pregnant or once they impregnate you, their whole attitude change. They become careless about you or the baby for
Be careful who you have a child with. A lot, not all, but a lot of men use pregnancy to sit women down, and that is why they are so angry when they see mums with a social life. I know the men are gonna hate to hear it, but let's get into it. A lot, not all, so that before you come with my comment, of men want a woman but want her under control. There are so many men who want a child because they know that somebody else is looking after that child. Let's be really for real. If most men knew that they would have to look after their children the way women look after children, they wouldn't want children. Or they wouldn't have children as willy-nilly as they have them now. If a lot of men had to take on the mental load of being a father and it matched the mental load of being a mother, the population would decrease. Men fully understand how hard it is to raise children, but they also fully understand, for most men, that the burden of that difficulty lays with the mother. That's why men will have 3-4 children by various different baby mothers, because the labor on them for the children is minimal. If a man had 3-4 children and he had to look after them in the house with him, maybe a lot of these men would not be having these kids. So with that in mind, what is the best way to get this woman that you want but don't like the freedom that she has to sit down? Baby, have a baby by me, baby, and be broke, struggling, stressed, anxious, overwhelmed. Because that is the only reason a man who does way less than his fair share of the child rearing can have the audacity to speak up when he sees his baby mother out socializing.
All right, so I don't like to take such topics for granted, and just a few disclaimers here. When I refer to the word men in the video, I'm not talking about all men, I'm talking about some men. I do understand that there are some male folk who are out there that mean well for our women and who are actually responsible parents and fathers to their children. Now, let's dive into the basics. Let's start with the basics. What does it actually mean when someone says a man is trapping a woman with a baby? That's a heavy statement, and it's important that we break it down in very simple terms. So, trapping a woman with a baby means that a man gets a woman pregnant, not necessarily because he wants to raise a family with her or build a future together, but because he wants to tie her to him. It's about control, it's about power, it's about making sure that she can't move on easily, or in some cases, can't continue to live the life she had before the pregnancy. Now, once again, let's be clear. This is especially painful when the pregnancy is unwanted or unplanned. That means a woman did not want to have a child at the time, but now she has to deal with all of the consequences that come with it, emotionally, physically, financially, and of course, socially. Now, let's talk about some key points here that were discussed in the video. We're going to break them down further. So, my first point is, when you tell a man you don't want kids, he takes it as a challenge. Sorry about that. So this is something that so many women have experienced. A woman makes it clear from the start and says, "Look, I don't want kids." And instead of respecting that, some men take it personally. They treat it like a challenge, like, "Oh, you just haven't met the right man yet." Or worse, they believe that they can change your mind. Now, the question is, why is this wrong? Some folks can look at it as an innocent statement, but it's wrong because it's a disrespect of boundaries. So when a woman tells you she doesn't want kids, she's been clear about her boundaries. Ignoring that shows that you're not listening or respecting her wishes. The second reason as to why it is wrong is because of control and manipulation. Trying to convince someone to go against what they've said they don't want is manipulation. It's not love, it's not care, it's not control. I don't care how you look at it, it is pure manipulation. The third reason as to why this is wrong is because it raises misinformation about parenthood. Now, just because someone can have a child doesn't mean they should or that they want to. Parenthood is not a romantic gesture, it's a lifelong responsibility. And forcing or tricking someone into parenthood can lead to resentment, broken relationships, and emotional trauma for both parents and the child. Now, the second point I would like to discuss is the fact that some men can't handle a successful woman. Once again, I'm not talking about all men, I'm talking about the few bad seeds that are out there in society. So, ladies, if you're watching this, listen to this point very carefully. Now, let's talk about ambition. Many women out here are focused. They've got goals, they've got dreams, and they're on the path of becoming everything they want to be. But unfortunately, some men see that and they feel, lack of a better term, threatened. So, what do? Instead of supporting her, they try to slow her down. They think in their brains to say, if I get her pregnant, she won't have time to chase her dreams. And that's really heartbreaking because that's not love, that's fear, that's insecurity. Now, the third point is that it takes two to have a baby. The sister who mentioned this in her video made it very simple and very clear. In addition to what she said, let's be real. In most situations, it takes two people to make a baby. So unless we're talking about non-consensual things like rape or sexual assault, which is a whole other serious topic, I can make a video on that if you'd like me to. Just let me know down in the comments. Both the man and the woman have some role to play in the pregnancy. So this is important because while some men use pregnancy as a trap, we also have to acknowledge that some women stay in situations they shouldn't be in. And sometimes they believe that the man would change. They believe he'll be a father. But the truth is, if someone shows you who they are before the baby, believe them. Point number 4 is don't have a baby with a narcissist. So a narcissist is someone who only thinks about themselves. It's not self-love. So it's very easy for one to confuse self-love and self-affirmation with narcissism, because in this day and age, those terms are used interchangeably. So the things you should look out for in a narcissist is that they don't care about your needs. They don't feel real empathy. So if you have a child with someone like this, it can be very damaging because now they have a way to control your life. They will use the child to guilt you, to manipulate you, and to keep you stuck. They don't want to co-parent. They just want the feeling of power. And often they don't care how their actions affect the child. Do you see how sad this is? Point number 5 is that most men use a child as a pawn. Pawn, P-A-W-N. Yeah, not the other pawn you're thinking about. So this one really hurts to talk about. Some men don't want to be fathers. They don't want to do the work. But once the baby is born, they use the child like a pawn in a chess game. They disappear for months, then they come back and want control. They want access. They might even take the mother to court, not because they care about the child, but because they want to win. And who suffers the most? Of course, it's the child. The innocent child who didn't ask for any of this, by the way. And the mother who is also left carrying all the weight. Now, the sixth point is some men even go to court to win custody. Now, this is next level manipulation because some men will fight for custody not because they want to raise the child, but because they want to punish the mother. It becomes a legal battle that costs money, time, and peace of mind. And in the end, the child is caught in the middle of it all. That's why choosing who you have a child with is so important. This is not just a boyfriend. This is someone who will be in your life forever. The next point is having a child bonds you for life. Let's say this again. When you have a child with someone, that person is in your life forever. Even if you break up, even if you move on, you will still have to talk to them, deal with them, worse off, co-parent with them. And that's why you have to choose wisely. Some men know this. That's why they use pregnancy as a way to stay connected to you, even when the relationship is over. It's a lifelong tie. The last point I would like to bring up is that if men had to take some of the load that you women carry, if men had to carry the same emotional, physical, and mental load of parenting that women do, things would be different. A lot of men wouldn't be so quick to have kids. Women think about diapers, school fees, doctor's visits, late nights, and how their whole life changes. But men, some just think about the idea of a baby, the cute picture, and the pride. But the truth is, parenthood is a job. And if men truly understand the weight of it, mentally and emotionally, the population might just start to shrink. So, all right, everyone, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching and listening. And this was a heavy topic, but it's one that needs to be talked about more often. So, here's my question for you. Do you think some men are just overly confident and selfish, or do they genuinely believe they're doing what's best? I want to know your thoughts. Drop them in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And if you have any topic ideas or something you want me to react to, leave that down below too. Until next time, take care of yourself, protect your peace, and choose wisely, because who you have a child with can change your life forever. From me, it's goodbye.